What's up guys, Benny here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to get the best aim possible in Black Ops 6 just like the pros in 8 simple steps. If you find this helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. So the first thing we're going to work on to help improve your aim in Black Ops 6 is centering. But before we do that, what you're going to want to do is head over to your interface and head down to crosshair, expand this and change your center dot scale to larger, and then choose a bright crosshair color. Now, for those of you wondering what centering is, it's everything you're doing whilst moving around the map. And if you look at my center dot, it's always looking at a potential danger point that an opponent is going to appear. So when I'm going around this corner, I'm not going to be looking at the floor. I'm not set and ready for an engagement. I'm going to have my crosshairs centered on the corner where the opponent is most likely to appear. To help improve this, I always just hop into a custom game and start wandering around, just checking where my crosshairs are going to be. And if I'm going around here, I'm exposing myself to the left, so I might work myself around here, cut this, check there, move around, and just work on getting the perfect centering that I can. As I'm going around the corner, always keeping my crosshairs in the most likely place an opponent is going to be. And then I might head around here. Top of the stairs. You don't want it here. I'm not ready for an engagement. Top of the stairs, ready. And as I get to the top, I'm going to bring that down and the crosshair is always just going to be ready. And then this combined with rotational aim assist is going to help improve your aim massively. So work on your centering. So our second step to helping you get the best aim possible in Black Ops 6 is recoil control. Because you probably ask yourself, how do all these pro players and streamers look like their weapons have no recoil whatsoever? Well, I'm going to make sure that you have the exact same. Now, before we check our weapons out, we're going to head over to our graphic settings and head to view. Make sure that you've got your ADS field of view set to affected. This is very important because it helps remove a lot of visual recoil on your weapons. Then you're going to head over to your loadout and select the weapon that you're going to use. In this case, I'm using the Model L with this particular build, and I'm going to head into the firing range. Then the first step that you're going to want to do is press down on the D-pad twice to bring down the recoil wall. To check the weapon that you're using, because it's very important because it's always different depending on the gun and loadout that you're using. Just hold down the trigger and see the recoil pattern of the weapon. Now, as you can see with this Model L build, it goes up and to the right. So in order to kind of bring that back into the center, I'm going to have to pull down and to the left to kind of tighten up my recoil control. So what I'm going to do then is to counter that very slightly, pulling very slightly down on the thumbstick. I'm not talking any drastic maneuvers. I'm talking you're pulling it down maybe 10%, just so there's a bit of pressure, and then going against that recoil pattern. As you can see, that went up to the right. It's going to be a little bit harder as I'm holding it up, but I'm pulling it down to the left, and it keeps that kind of cluster of bullets very, very tight. So keep that in mind. Once you know the recoil pattern of your weapon, then just practice. Shoot some of the targets down range, and you'll instantly notice a huge improvement to your recoil control. So our next step to helping make sure that you get the best aim possible in Black Ops 6 is selecting the best settings. Now, the first decision that you're going to have to make is choosing the sensitivity that's right for you. Now, the important things to understand is the lower the sensitivity, the more overall control of your aim you're going to have with your thumbsticks. But the higher the sensitivity, you're going to be able to be far more reactive of the plays that people are making around you. So you need to find that perfect medium. Now, I personally use a 6.6, which I think is the perfect starting point for you if you haven't decided what you want to play on. A 7.7 is also a great option if you like to be a little bit more reactive. So try those out, start on the lower side, and then work your way up if you're finding yourself to be as accurate as possible. The next thing that you're going to need to do is head down to your dead zone inputs. And this is very important. This is also unique to your controller. You want to get your left stick and right stick mins down to as low as possible without getting stick drift. That is very important because if your controller is just moving for you, which if you go to test stick dead zone and it was just suddenly like moving to the right, it's going to make your aim a lot worse in the game. Then also drop those maxes down to 75. So it brings the area that you're working with your controller, with your thumbsticks, a lot tighter, giving you more control. The next thing you're going to want to do is head to your sensitivity multiplier and then head down to your ADS sensitivity multiplier and bring that down to 0.8. Now, what this does is it means that when you're aim down sight, if you've got a 6.6 sensitivity, it's going to bring it down to like a 4.8, 4.8. So you can make those adjustments to hit upper chest and headshots a lot easier, especially with a recoil control that we learned a little bit earlier. Then head to your aiming advanced settings, make sure ADS sensitivity transition timing is instant and your aim response curve type is dynamic at full strength. And those are the key settings that you need to make sure that you've changed and worked on before you get into a game. So our next step to helping you get the best aim possible in Black Ops 6 is learning how to master aim assist. It's one of the crucial things as a controller player that you need to make sure you master. Now, there are a couple different types. First of all, there's your regular aim assist. This is that sticky feeling that you get when you're using your right thumbstick that kind of slows down your aim movement when you're over a target. Then there is rotational aim assist. Now, this is the most broken aim assist type in Call of Duty, and it is triggered when you move your left thumbstick because it makes sure that your opponent is in the same plane as you, which is going to allow you to realistically not miss a shot, especially when you combine it with that recoil control that we learned earlier in the video. Another thing to be aware of is that at close range, if we get right up to an opponent, in this game for the first time, aim assist actually gradually drops the closer we are to an opponent. So sometimes if you need it, you could kind of disengage and back up from an opponent just to make it easier for you to hit your shots. But learn the aim assist types. Make sure that you're using both your thumbsticks to aim at all times. But you'll notice whenever I'm fighting, even if I'm in a power position, I'll be strafing left and right just to kind of trigger that rotational aim assist. If you're not moving your left thumbstick, you're not getting it. So our next step to getting better aim is all about learning how to hit your targets consistently at a distance. And it is so important to burst fire, because if I'm trying to hit targets at like 50 to 100 meters and I'm just holding down the trigger, I'm never going to be able to hit all my shots consistently, and I'm not going to win all my gunfights. It is so important to burst fire. Just tapping your trigger, firing like 4 or 5 round bursts, kind of making sure I'm keeping that rotational aim assist in play, but just tap firing my weapon. It will allow you to be far more accurate at those longer ranges and beat your opponent. So just remember to burst fire. Another thing you can do to help eliminate all recoil is if you're set up, you can mount, and that is going to make it far easier to hit those opponents at a distance. And in that case, you can just hold down the trigger. You don't need to burst fire at all. So the next step to helping you get the best aim possible is learning how to quickly and accurately switch between your targets. And this requires you combining everything we've learned in the video so far to do at a high level. And it's really making sure that you utilize all the game mechanics, snapping into your opponent, making sure you're moving left and right as you do so, and then taking advantage of that rotational aim assist. Also keeping that recoil control nice and smooth, and you're centering. It's so important as you kind of move across, you center, and then you're pressing left and right trigger very quickly to snap on and hit those shots. And it requires a lot of time and practice, but target switching is what allows you to realistically pick up those clicks. And you'll see it's a quick, sharp transition every single time. It's not slow. I'm centering to the danger point as fast as possible, even when I'm moving. And then the rotational aim assist, as I drag across, will slow it down. And you'll get this natural feel with your thumbstick when you're doing it of when you should slow down, when you should start firing, when you're pulling back on your thumbstick. And it's really a combination of everything we've learned in this video. Really, it requires a lot of practice, which takes us on to our next step. Now, what you're going to want to do is create a private match. Then in the bottom left corner, head to game setup and choose game modes. Then on game modes, you're going to want to select free for all, choose any map you'd like. In this case, we can go with subsonic, and then go to your game rules. Now, what you're going to do here is change time limit all the way down to 45 minutes and then 1,000 scores, so the game's not ending super quickly. Then you need to change on player. What you can do here is make it so also you've got 300 points of health, so the same as you would have in Warzone, because it doesn't really matter if you have the exact same experience in multiplayer. This is all about helping you get the best aim possible, and needing to fire more shots to take an opponent down requires you to be more accurate. Then head to team and make sure radar always on is set to fast, sweep, or constant. Either works. And then in gameplay, you don't need to change a single thing. However, something I like to do is turn score streaks off, so you're not just getting taken down by a random chopper that gets put on the map. Then we're going to head over to the right-hand side and select this plus sign and add 11 bots on recruit difficulty. They don't need to be good at first. It's great when you do a warm-up. You might play like veteran bots or mixed, just so you're really sharp when you hop into a game. But for this exact drill, we're just going to have them on recruit and we're going to hop into the game. Then what I want you to do is just get into the game and practice landing your shots, just controlling that recoil, being as consistent as possible, keeping tracking of your opponent at all times, work on that centering as you move around the map. And also remember, when you get that loss of an aim assist up close, you can even hip fire or try and break the distance between your opponents. But this is all about just having that time in those accurate shots off and getting used to the feel of the game until you're hitting your shots like the pros do. Now, I've done this warm-up drill for years. It helps so much in making you a better player. So go give it a go. I hope this video helps improve your aim. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.